here's our plan of action. There aren't really any back roads. I want to do these roll-ons in second gear, and I kind of live in city limits where I'm at now, so it's kind of a pain in the butt to go find a long straight back road to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the interstate, which is closer, and you know, I can just do some second gear roll-ons on the interstate. Now, here's the thing. I made some adjustments to, you know, my fuel tables up towards the top of the RPMs, you know, from like 50, I think it was like from about 5,200 to 6,000. I made some fueling adjustments, so I actually just loaded that tune in. And what I want to do is I want to do at least one naturally aspirated roll-on first and check my data log and make sure I've got that all dialed in. Once I know that that's dialed in, because we still have the closed loop fueling turned off for reasons I've discussed in the previous 3 videos. But once I know I've got the NA fueling dialed in, then we'll turn on the nitrous and make 1 or 2 roll-ons with the nitrous. I should be able to tell pretty much immediately what's going on, and you know, if the stuff that we fixed in the last video actually helped. And I do want to say this. I know a couple of you were pointing out in my little quick, you know, fix the nitrous system video, that the card that I was showing you guys was actually for a carbureted system. Guys, I've been over this in many videos already. I think the first time I went over that was actually in the install videos where I showed you guys how to hook up different kinds of nitrous systems. The only difference between the mainline carb kit and the mainline EFI kit is the carb kit comes with a plate. The EFI kit comes with like their bottom of the line, I think it's a Piranha nozzle, which is only good for like 150 horsepower. They come with the exact same solenoids. The jetting on the nitrous side is the exact same between the carb and the EFI kit on that kit. The only difference is on the fueling side, which, you know, obviously we're not going to use the, you know, the jets recommended for a 8 psi carb application. What you do is you go online to NX's website, and they've got, you know, fuel jetting. They've got huge charts depending on what psi you're running as to what fuel jet you should be using. So that's what we did. That really had nothing to do with that video whatsoever, but good eye to you guys who did see that, you know, saw that was a carb card. But yeah, that had nothing to do with that video really, guys. Cold start. Guys, I said this was, you know, supposed to be a race car build, but aside from the power steering thing and the transmission getting hot, which we're going to take care of soon, aside from that, this thing's actually pretty damn streetable. Yeah, and I want you guys to know, I mean, I do read through most of your comments. I'm kind of doing this thing right now where if the video's over a couple months old, because I'm overloaded, guys, I really am. I get overloaded with your messages and your comments and your emails, and I don't have time, guys. I mean, so on older videos, I'm not reading the comments as much as I used to, and it's just because I don't have time. I mean, I've got a full-time job, you know, I got a wife, kids. I spend hours making these videos, so pretty much what I'm doing is if the video's over about 2 months old, I'm not really, you know, reading and responding to the comments anymore, because by the time a video's that old, usually the answers are already in the comments, and if you just read through the comments that are already there, you'll realize that I've already answered the same question 5 times. think so. But I just wanted to let you guys know that it's not that I'm ignoring anybody. And on a new video, I see all the comments. Like I saw where somebody was recommending the Mosimoto, if I'm pronouncing that right, the Mosimoto transmission cooler with fan, and that's kind of what I got planned, is something, maybe not that exact one, but something similar. I think what I'd like to do is take and mount a trans cooler in the back of the car where the muffler used to be, you know, since obviously we don't have a muffler back there anymore. I'm just not sure what kind of airflow it would get. I'm gonna have to research. I'm sure somebody's doing that already. You know, I might need to get on like thirdgen.com or something and you know, see what people are saying about airflow back there, because it will have a cooling fan on it, but you know, the primary thing with the cooling fan on a trans cooler, you know, would be when the car's sitting still. I want it to be in an area where it's going to get plenty of airflow when it's moving. Seemed pretty smooth. It was still going a little rich up top from like 5,500 up. I was commanding, I think, a 12.5 AFR, and it was dipping down into the 11s. So I just took, you know, a couple more percentage of fuel out from 5,500 to 6,000. Like I said, guys, I'm tuning this manually because I've got all the closed loop and stuff turned off right now. But anyway, I just took a little bit out up there. It should be pretty damn close now, so I think I'm going to go ahead and open my nitrous bottle and see what happens. And now we're having the little idle issue I was talking to Josh about the other night, where I made a hit in it, you know, a hard pass, and now it does not want to idle. It just starts idle hunting and falls off. But you guys saw earlier it was fine idling. See, it's doing this surge thing. It only does this after I make a hit. And I'll have to, okay, now here we are. We're back to normal. But this is the third time I started it, guys. And this is something else I've got to figure out. And this is why I'm kind of waiting to put the cam in, because I know I'm going to have idle issues once I put the cam in. But you can see now it's idling perfect, you know, 750 RPMs. But what happens is I make a hit. When I come back, it wants to stall out. I'll start it once, it'll idle hunt like you guys just saw, and it'll die. And I'll start it again, it'll idle hunt and die. And then usually the third time I start it, it'll idle hunt a little bit, and then it'll smooth itself out. Now, if I don't make a hit, if I just drive it around normal for a while, every time I come to a stop, it doesn't do this. It only does it after I make a wide open throttle hit. And I don't know, guys, it's just something else I got to figure out with this Holly. Like some blow by. That's not a good sign. So I have to apologize. Unfortunately, the video footage of me doing the highway pulls on the juice, it got corrupt somehow. Sometimes this GoPro just does that. It'll corrupt some footage. I lost that footage. I actually made 2 pulls, starting in 2nd gear and going well into 3rd gear. We won't talk about the speeds, but it was actually pulling fairly strong, but still not as strong as I felt like, you know, a 200 shot should be pulling. So I came back, I made the hit that you just saw, and at that point it was pretty evident to me I was running out of nitrous. So I came home, I changed the nitrous bottle because we'd been on that same bottle for like 2 trips to the track, and I made the hit that you're about to see. guys, there's a delay in the dash. So even though it was showing 6,200 on the dash, it might have actually been 6,500 and it might have shut it off. I don't know. That's the problem with going from a rolling start in first gear, is I reach my shift point not too fast for me to respond, but by the time I respond, and then the transmission has a delay, and you know, before I know it, I'm bouncing off the rev limiter. As you could tell, it was pulling quite a bit harder than it was at the track. But again, it still did not feel like a 200 shot to me. Something just did not feel right about that pull. So I brought it home. I reviewed the data logs. It's actually the next day now. You know, I went over all the data logs last night. I worked today. Now I'm kind of finishing things up with this video. But when I looked at the data logs, what I saw is we have fixed the problem with the nitrous not staying on. The nitrous is 100% staying on now. The problem is, I don't know what the problem is. We are still getting like a dead rich condition. I mean, it's just horribly rich. And when I say horribly rich, I mean, in first gear, it's actually dropping all the way down to like high 8s AFRs when I'm on the bottle. Now my NA tune is pretty well straight now. I mean, you know, I'm staying in the 12.0 to 12.5 range, you know, steady throughout all 3 gears. So we're doing good NA. But when I go on the bottle, and yes, I have, you know, went back and done my rejetting and everything. When I'm on the bottle in first gear, we're dipping down into the high 8s in the air fuel ratio. And then when it goes into second, of course, it gets a little bit leaner, but we're still getting into low to mid 9s AFRs. And in third gear, we're hitting like 10.0s. So, I mean, we're still rich as hell. And I got to be honest, guys. I mean, it wouldn't be hard for me to just go in here. I mean, you've seen my extensive jet collection. It wouldn't be hard for me to go in here and just take some fuel out of it with the fuel jet. But the problem is, if I'm running the correct fuel jet for, you know, the size nitrous shot that I'm running, you know, it's not uncommon for me to have to like pull, like step down or up one size on my fuel jet, you know, from what they recommend to get my AFRs where I want them. But I'd have to go down several sizes on my fuel jet to pull up a 8.0 AFR to, you know, to like a 12.2 or 12.0, whatever. And that tells me that I'm not getting enough nitrous flow at this point. So I've actually pulled my nitrous solenoid off here. I was just doing some testing, but I have no way to actually flow test this here, guys. So like I took everything apart here and I was just checking everything out. I backflowed this. I actually hooked the nitrous to it backward and triggered the relay to backflow it because I thought maybe I might have some debris in there, something like that. But as far as I could tell, nothing came out. And the fittings that you use, they actually have a little screen in them, you know, like a little filter. This would be on the inlet side. There's one on the inlet side of the fuel solenoid as well. You know, but that's to catch debris and stuff in case you've got dirt or grime or whatever in your nitrous bottle. And you guys can see, I mean, it's clear. There's nothing in there. So I don't know. I got to thinking, I was like, maybe this solenoid's just failing, because according to NX, these little mainline solenoids, these are the bottom of the line solenoids, guys. But according to them, these things are still capable of 250 horsepower. So, and I've got it jetted down to a 200 shot now. I may take it back down to a 150 and see what it flows as a final, you know, a final thing just to check it out. But you know, according to them, this thing should flow 250. So I actually emailed Nitrous Express today and told them about the issue. Oh, I was going to tell you one other thing, guys. For those of you running a progressive controller, Holley, they're progressive controllers, and if you use the progressive control on like the Terminator or the HP, which is what I have, it defaults to 20 hertz to do progressive control. And one thing I did find out from NX today is their solenoids do not like to be pulsed at 20 hertz. They want you to pulse them at 14 to 15 hertz. So if you're running NX solenoids with a progressive where you can adjust the hertz, yeah, you need to drop it down from the default setting of 20 hertz, drop it down to 15 for the NX solenoids. But I did that too, and honestly I've not tested it since then. So what I may do tomorrow after work, I may go ahead and put this guy back on, put everything back together, you know, now that I've adjusted this down to 15 hertz, and see if maybe that was causing some sort of issue. Maybe it was just slamming it shut too hard, and this solenoid wasn't wanting to respond. But I made that adjustment after I took everything apart last night, and I contacted NX today. Guys, I wanted to try to find a resolution before I made this video, because I don't want to keep doing videos of, hey, this ain't working. But you know, don't look like that's going to happen right now, because I'm still probably going to be a day or two out from resolving this issue. But we will get it resolved, guys. I mean, you know, we had issues with the China. We have issues with everything. That's why we call this channel Bad Luck Garage. But we do always eventually get things worked out. This will be no different. If I put this back in now and I find out even setting it to 15 that it's not working, then we'll take it down to 150. You know, maybe this solenoid just can't handle what they say it can handle. So we'll take it down to 150. If it still can't handle that, we'll pull this guy out. And we do have the brand new Proton kit that we had bought for the DR Nova that Ray decided he did not want to put on there. So worst case scenario, we'll pull these mainline solenoids off. I will wire in the Proton box, and you know, we'll try that out instead. And I know you guys can see it sitting in the background, but yes, we do have our cam and springs, and yes, we went with the sloppy mechanic special on this one. You know, we got our what is it, the 1480 P cam, or I'm sorry, the 1840 P cam, which is the sloppy stage 2 cam, and we got the old Pack Racing 1218 springs here. So I'm waiting to put these in. I've already covered this before. I really want to show you guys, even though we pretty much did this already on the China Vet, guys, where, you know, the China Vet's bone stock, it's just bolt-ons, and we did the 175 shot on it and got it all the way down to, it's 6-second capable. If I would have took that car to Knoxville, it would have been 6-second capable. I just couldn't hook up at English Mountain, but we ran a 719, you know, on a stock LS1. So this car's no different, guys, and we kind of proved that a couple videos ago when we took it to the drag strip, and it was running almost identical times NA to the China Vet. So you know, logically thinking, if we slam it with the same amount of nitrous, it should be pretty close to the same times. Meaning, if we can get this 250 shot working, this thing should easily be in the 6s, like no problem. If it hooks and we get this working, you know, it's 6-second car all day long. Anyway, like I said, guys, I don't really like continuously making these videos talking about, you know, we haven't fixed the problem yet, but a lot of you guys keep saying, hey, show us the whole process. So that's what I'm doing, guys. I'm showing you my process that I go through. You know, it's not always, you know, like you see on other channels where you find a problem and then the next episode it's fixed, and they don't show you all the testing and crap they go through to fix it. They just magically cut to the next video, and that's really not what I'm about. I do want to say this. I asked NX Nitrous Express if they wanted me to send them this solenoid. So I haven't heard back from them the second time yet, but if we do our little test tomorrow or the next day and we still can't get this thing to do what we need it to do, then that's probably what's going to happen. I'll put the Proton kit on. We'll take both these mainline solenoids, the fuel and the nitrous, although the fuel seems to be flowing well. We'll send these to NX in Texas and have them tested. These are cheap solenoids, guys. They're only about $100 a piece. You know, but I don't like to throw anything away if it can be repaired. especially when it comes to my Nitrous stuff, because you guys know I've got several kits laying around, but I like to throw this stuff on pretty much every project car, at least in the beginning. The China Vet is going to stay on Nitrous. We're actually going to do a progressive on it and everything. We'll talk about that in another video though. So for now, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to get in here, go to bed. Tomorrow we'll get this stuff put back on and make some more test hits, and hopefully we'll find out everything's good. If not, then you know the plan. And the plan is get out in the garage, get something done, and I'll see you next time here on Bad Luck Garage. Oh, you're giving me so much trouble.